And the sounds that it makes are fun too. You know, I think that this might actually be a manual that would be worth getting. And hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing a Ford Bronco with a manual transmission. Finally, I have a chance to see if the manual is actually worth it. First and foremost though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Jody Wilkinson Acura here in Salt Lake City, Utah for giving me some time with this Bronco. They have this one available for sale right now if you're interested. And if you have any questions whatsoever, just ask for Rachel. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2.3 liter 4-cylinder that goes through a 7-speed manual transmission. Power outputs are 300 horsepower and 325 pound-feet of torque. Now this is the only engine option available with the manual transmission. Now something that I want to mention that's pretty funny is this obviously has a hood strut there, but then it also has a hood prop here. I'm getting mixed signals. Are you prop life or are you strut life? Anyways, that is under the hood. Now I have literally reviewed 1.5 million Broncos at this point, so I just want this video to be dedicated to the manual transmission, but I also want to show you guys some key features on this particular Bronco if you happen to be interested in purchasing it, because it's really hard to find the manuals. So first off, this one's a black diamond, and you guys can see we've got the upgraded bumper with tow hooks there on the front end, which yeah, just gives it a really cool look. Now something that I really like about the black diamond is it has these really reasonable all-terrain tires. You guys can see you've got the steel wheels, which has, you know, just a cool like old school off-roader type appearance. And guys, you're wondering in terms of the whole setup, it's 265/70/17, and so yeah, just a really reasonable setup for like a cool off-roader. And you guys can see the independent front suspension. This one also has rock rails there on the side, and it is a soft top, if you guys are wondering. And then some other cool things here with this black diamond is we've got the cool like gray / black interior, so you can see with like the blue stitching and everything. And these seats are really cool because they're easy to clean. And then obviously this is, well, a 4-door. Probably should have mentioned that earlier in the video. But yeah, there's a quick look at the exterior. Now let's dive more into the manual. So here's the focus of the video, and that is the manual transmission. Now first off, we have to go over the drive modes that are associated with the black diamond and the manual. So our GOAT modes. Now you guys can see we've got a normal, eco, sport, slippery, mud ruts, sand, and then a rock crawl mode. So let's look at all the drive modes you need. Now what you guys will notice here is we still have hill descent control, but we don't have like the normal off-road cruise control that you can get with the Bronco, because again, this is a manual, not the automatic. And we also don't have 4-wheel auto. We just have 2-wheel high, 4-wheel low, and then 4-wheel high. And if you guys are wondering, to actually get into 4-wheel low, you have to push the clutch in, make sure that this thing's in neutral, by the way, and then you push the 4-wheel low button, and then it'll actually pop it into 4-wheel low, and we'll take the parking brake off. Now since I'm on road, obviously I shouldn't be driving it in 4-wheel low, but I'm just going to put it into first gear and just slowly crawl forward. And the thing that's cool is I'm not putting any like input into the throttle whatsoever. This has so like the gearing is so low with this that yeah, just barely releasing the clutch and it moves forward. So I think that would give people a lot of confidence off-road, and it's really hard to actually stall this thing. So we're gonna put it back into 2-wheel high because again, we're on road, so you just have to have the clutch in, and it's a super seamless system. Now as for the transmission itself, reverse lockout, you push that little thing up and then put it over, and then it'll pop on with the backup camera. This is one of the easiest ways to make sure that you're like in reverse with modern cars, because they all have backup cameras mandated here in the US. And so if your backup camera doesn't pop up, you probably aren't in reverse. Now, the other thing is with the actual shifter itself, like it's, you know, not super long with the throws, but definitely longer than like a sports car, and it's super notchy, which I think I really appreciate overall. And so yeah, with that being said, I know that's like the briefest overview ever. Let's quickly see if there happens to be a, I'll check if there's a window sticker. If there's not, then well, we'll just take it out and drive it. Let's talk about visibility before you set off. Here's your visibility over the hood, both of the mirrors, and then throughout the rest of the rear, and let's set off. So first off, sorry that this GoPro view isn't as good as what I usually provide for the channel, where I kind of like gangster lean the seat and give you guys like a full view of the steering wheel. And the reason that I have to do this is because this clutch is so far, like the actual push point is so far, and I'm like, I have really long legs, and so like I would be like the perfect person to be able to like be farther away from the steering wheel, and I still have to be pretty close to the steering wheel. So like definitely take that into account with this. Like the clutch throw, like I said, you have to push in so far that you have to be like right up against the steering wheel, which some of you might like that, some of you might not like that. Now the next thing is so much torque, especially when you compare this to a Wrangler with a manual. This just like, seriously, like you just barely have to like let off the clutch and it just torques. I'm not going to try to stall it, but I feel like it would be very hard to actually stall this because of how much torque you get. Now first gear is definitely a granny gear, that is for sure. That is for crawling 100%. Like there is no power in first gear. Like I said, it's torquey, but it's not something like you pretty much like as soon as you get up and start moving, you want to get right out of first gear. It's not one that you want to rev out, is what I'm noticing. First off, let's see how this downshifts. Pretty decent. Love the turbo noises. This is actually a very easy manual transmission to drive. I would say that this is a lot better than the manual transmission in the Wrangler. Now, although it'd be fun to go over that like dirt thing there because they're redoing the road, I'd probably get in a lot of trouble, so we're not going to. Yeah, this is so easy to drive, seriously. Also, this has a rear locker with this package. You got the stability control. You don't have the trail turn assist, don't have the front locker, don't have a stabilizer bar disconnect. This is like a super simple off-roader. I really like this actually with how this is set up, frankly. And again, this is so easy to drive. The only thing that I'm, you know, frustrated with slightly, again, is just the clutch. Just with how far I have to push it in. I feel like I'm having, still like I'm close to the steering wheel and I still feel like I have to flex. Yeah, that first gear just really, I'm trying to test this out for you guys. That first gear really just doesn't have like any oomph to it. It is all about crawling. And the thing, again, like I said, the thing that I really like is the clutch actuation. You can like, I can feel it happening within the clutch. Like I was just kind of feathering that right there to kind of see, and it's like boom, super easy to tell where the catch point is every single time. Not a problem whatsoever. Now of course I do the normal Salt Lake thing, but we can't do that on camera. So we're in second gear here. You definitely can, you can feel the turbo lag, that is for sure. You can definitely feel the turbo lag with this. This thing's actually pretty fun to drive though, honestly. I would say that, you know, on road, this is more exciting to drive than the Wrangler manual because, again, that turbocharged aspect kind of lends to the fun. It has this, like, you know, sports car type feel to it. Think about like a naturally aspirated car with a small engine versus a turbocharged car with a small engine. The turbocharged car is almost always more exciting. And the sounds that it makes are fun too. You know, I think that this might actually be a manual that would be worth getting in today's world. I know that like every single car journalist is like, save the manuals. Like every single time a car journalist reviews a manual, they say it's the best thing ever and that like that's the only option you should get. And I'm not of that same opinion. I'm of the opinion that, you know, sometimes the manual's better and sometimes the automatic's better. Now in the case of the Bronco, here's what I have to say is, and I think the sales numbers support this, for most people, the automatic is going to be the route to go. But that being said, this is a very good manual transmission for an off-road SUV. It's got the gearing that just works. And this isn't even a Sasquatch package. Like, you know, think manual with the 4.7 axle ratio. That thing would be crazy. Like, it'd probably be like the old Cummins with the manual, where you could literally just drop the clutch and it wouldn't stall because it has so much like low end torque. I bet that's what this would be like with the Sasquatch package. But yeah, to like fully sum things up, the shifter feels great. It perfectly fits the Bronco style, and I'm glad it's actually like very plasticky, because I feel like it'd be easy to clean if I got like dirty off-roading, and it's like it's gonna be durable over the long haul. And so if you are a manual transmission enthusiast, I can confidently tell you that Ford does not disappoint with the manual Bronco. They did a really solid job with this, and if you happen to live in Utah and own one of these manual Broncos and want to go off-roading with me, let me know, because I want to like confirm my suspicions that this would be really easy to off-road and handle, because sometimes manual transmissions obviously aren't the easiest in off-road circumstances, but I feel like this has so many like fail safes and like dummy safes it's a better way to put it, that like if you know how to drive manual, you could probably drive this off-road. Let me know what you guys think. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this manual Bronco. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Jody Wilkinson Acura here in Salt Lake City, Utah, for giving me some time with this Bronco. Link to the inventory in the description down below. If you have any questions whatsoever, just ask for Rachel. I'll see ya.